the whole freaking time. I just went outside because it wasn't getting connection, so I had to just come straight outside where I could go next to the living room because the router's in there. So I'm gonna have to go back in, which means I have to go to the very far side of the house where there's no router to go get my stand, because there's no way I'm holding this the whole freaking time like this, because my arm aches. So I'll get into the live stream, but it might disconnect from. So just hold on, just one. We'll get into the live stream properly when I get the stand, because I'd rather just stand. I may even get the selfie stick, I don't know yet, because a selfie stick, put it down and it does actually keep it up right. So yeah, just forgive my horrible appearance. My eczema is really bad at the minute, so please forgive me. I have no idea if this live stream is going to reach the intended person, and I have no idea if anybody's going to view it, because it's not my usual type of video. I don't even know where the stand is, so yeah, I think whatever the fuck this is. What did I say this is called? Selfie stick. Yeah, I mean, someone just came on and right back off again. So I get a different audience with every single live stream I do. I never get the same people. I used to get the same people, but now my audience seems to have, well, it keeps changing. I don't think I need anything else. I can just go outside. I mean, I do need my phone. I was in my house phone, just in case my mum rings me. Okay, so I'm gonna go where it's nice and bright. Oh, it's grown-ups. But if this something was to happen, actually, it would prove the point of the video of the things I'm going to talk about. Okay, so finally set up. Hello and welcome to my live stream. I am the Fluff Universe, as you know, and my usual channel is about furry stuff and fat admirer stuff. A lot of people like to call it like fat fetish or fat kink stuff, but I don't like to call it that because it's a more serious thing. It's not just a kink or a fetish for me. It's about fat people being seen as the norm and not unattractive or disgusting or, oh, that's unhealthy or whatever. My purpose is to help people to see that fat people are really hot and sexy, and the logic behind why this is true or should be true, and why society is wrong for worshipping skinny and ostracizing fat bodies. Hi Axonum, nice to see you again. Glad you could make it. So I've been watching these two channels, actually. There are a few others, but I've been watching these particular two channels called KNonOfficial. It just popped up in my newsfeed, a video from KNonOfficial. And then from KNonOfficial's videos, because I watched like a ton of them. See, this is so weird. I mentioned the fat fetish stuff and suddenly people come to my stream. That is weird. It took a few minutes for anyone to come on. Anyway, so I found these channels from the videos that popped up in my newsfeed. And the other one is I Hate Dogs. And the reason why I'm responding to I Hate Dogs, particularly out of the two channels, is because I Hate Dogs is like a real person in my opinion, because he actually does live streams. Like every one of his videos is a live stream. He does a one every day, I think, and it's a real person talking, whereas KNonOfficial is just robot AI voices, and to me that makes it less personal. Like I can't really relate to the person as much because it's just AI voices. And I know everyone thinks that AI stuff is like the best thing since sliced bread, but I think it's dangerous. I think it can be deceptive, and I think it's very impersonal. Like I was actually thinking of using AI voices for Jeremiah when I want Jeremiah to speak, you know, the art, like the picture of him. But that's the only thing that it's good for, really, is for doing that, for like making characters speak if you don't have voice actors to voice them. So obviously I can't do a male voice as much as I really wish I could. So I would use AI voices for that sort of thing, for making my characters talk who are male, or if I want a better female voice than my own, which to me every fucking female voice is better than mine, because my voice is like, I don't know, weird. Like, to me it doesn't sound like a normal female voice. Like, I've never heard anyone who sounds like me, and I don't like it. I personally don't like it, but people say it's okay, and I've even been told I should be a voice actor, and I'm like, oh good god, I wouldn't like to hear a character sound like me. Jesus Christ. No. And if there is any way you guys think there's a way to change my voice to sound more normal, I'd be very appreciative. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that the subject of the video. So, the channel I'm responding to is called I Hate Dogs. But I'll also respond to the other one as well, Kane Official, because they seem to be the main channels. There are quite a few of them, but I don't think the rest of them get as much traction as these two. I don't know, because they're the ones I'm the most drawn to. Now, having said that, I do like Kane Official's videos, even though they are AI voices and stuff. I think it makes it interesting, but he just uses like the AI voices and pictures to illustrate his points, and he does sometimes post newsreels of why dogs are bad and all this stuff. And so does I Hate Dogs. He always uses like news footage to illustrate his points as to why dogs are bad, and all the reasons why you should hate dogs, and why he personally hates dogs. And he calls anyone who likes dogs dog nutters, and so do all the others as well. Dog lovers, dog nutters, and they're like dog haters, I guess. One of them said that they don't hate dogs, but the other one definitely hates dogs with a passion, they said. So, I just want to sort of voice my opinions on the channel's points and everything, and also my opinions on the subject as well. I'm just going to take breaths because I'm still not 100% well. So, if there's loads of pauses, it's because I literally am drowning on my own insides, and I can't breathe because of being absolutely clogged up with mucus and catarrh and infectious, like green mucus. So one of the points is that it's not about dogs, but the last live stream he did, and this is really weird. This is really, really weird. So the last live stream he did, and it's the exact same day this same thing happened to me. He actually put that he spent the entire day in bed, but he kept waking up and was like, oh, I can't be bothered, I'm too tired. And he would go back to sleep, and then another hour later he would wake up and be like, nah, fuck this, I'm going back to sleep, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, whoa, that's so weird, that exact thing happened to me yesterday. Now, hang on, what is that? Oh, yeah, okay, right. What the fuck is that? Is that supposed to be there? Oh, yeah. From that guy yesterday. Anyway, so yesterday we had a guy come, and he came like really early, 8 a.m. and I had to be up to deal with him. So I'd only had like 4 hours sleep or something stupid like that. So obviously he was here for like 3 hours or something, and when he went, I went back to bed, and I think I had maybe another 4 hours sleep, maybe 3 hours sleep. And every time I woke up, I was like, nope, too tired, I can't deal with this, so I just went back to sleep. And then another hour or two later, I'd wake up and be like, nah, I can't be bothered, I'm gonna go back to sleep. Like, I was doing the same freaking thing as him. It was weird, except his was on Saturday and mine was on Sunday, because our time zones are different. So technically it was the same day, but because our time zones are different, he's in America and I'm in the UK, it kind of did match up. And I thought, whoa, because he was like, you guys, can you guys tell me if this is normal or whether there's something wrong with me? And I was like, it happens to me too, and there's something wrong with me, so yeah, there's something wrong with both of us. I actually said this to the doctor, and they were really concerned. They said, have you had a thorough checkup? Because it's not normal to sleep as much as you do and have a hard time waking up. So yeah, I'm afraid I don't think it's normal. But then again, you and some other people in the comment section of that particular live stream said that you overwork yourselves and you actually deliberately deprive yourself of sleep because you think that you need to be working all of the time. Hello?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Road. You basically work yourselves to death, and this is why you you feel like you have to have like lots of sleep, because obviously you've been deliberately depriving yourself of sleep. Because there are a lot of people out there, and these two people, the people in the comment section and this particular YouTuber, maybe they're in this category, but there are a lot of people who believe that sleep is for the weak, and I'll sleep when I'm dead, and basically they think sleep is a waste of time because there's like all this stuff that they should be doing instead, like working themselves to death and stuff like that, and maybe exercising themselves to death, and it's really bad. So if you're the kind of people who do that, then obviously if you have a day where you just can't get up and you want to sleep all day, then it's obvious that that is why you're gonna have days where you're really tired and you can't be bothered getting up. You're just gonna be, it's called burnout and fatigue. So when you work yourself to the ground, you're obviously going to have a day when suddenly you crash. Because what you'll do is to do all this work for like 24 hours a day, or whatever it is, like a 16, 17 hours a day that you work. And of course, in your time when you do have time off, like after work or the weekend, you think, well, this is my own time now. I've got to, spend it doing all this constructive stuff. So because people do this, they down loads of caffeinated drinks, and it's really not good for you to do that, and they become like addicted to them, and eventually your body just goes, you know what, fuck this, I'm gonna sleep. Whether you like it or not, I'm gonna have a day, like a full day and a night where I just sleep. This is what happens. One woman was worked to death so much that she actually spent time in bed for an entire month. She slept for an entire month because she was so burnt out, because she was spending every hour just working. And she worked in an animal sanctuary, and they were working specifically with wolves, and they were having babies and stuff, so they were spending the entire time working on that in the enclosures and stuff. And she just never slept. She literally just stayed awake the whole time, like for a long period of time, and eventually she literally just passed out, and she was put in the bed, and she just stayed in bed. Like, she didn't sleep for the month, but she stayed in bed for a month. This is what happens when people don't take care of themselves. You guys work yourself to death, and you don't take care of yourselves, and that's bad. You think that you can just keep going because, like I say, these people think it's either their jobs are really important to them. I personally couldn't do it because I get tired easily. Like, I'm a carer for my mum, and I'm actually thinking of making a channel whereby I talk about my experiences being a carer for my mum and how exhausting it is. And you do get burnout because you're literally on call, like as a family member taking care of a family member and not a professional carer. I am literally on call 24/7. That's what my mum said when we first started doing this. I had to be on call 24 hours a day, especially when she was ill or had had a heart attack or broke a hip. Like, I had to be on call all day and all night, and I was literally being dragged out of bed from like a really restful, really deep sleep, and I would feel so bad, and I would just feel like really miserable, really like depressed, and really just like really ill. Like, I felt so ill because I was dragged from a really good, restful, like deep sleep and pleasant dreams and everything, and kind of dragged back to reality where my reality isn't that great, because I literally spend my life looking after my mum and doing chores. That is literally my life. Like, it's not even a fulfilling job. Like, most jobs are fulfilling because you're like doing something you love. Well, this is not what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't want to be a carer. Like, I don't even want to be in like the nursing profession at all. I don't want to be in a profession whereby I'm having to look after someone or something, especially 24/7. I want to be in a creative career or something that really makes an impact on the world, or just like be I want to be an actor. I want to be in film and TV. I want to create films, TV series. You know, I want to do art. I want to do music. I wouldn't mind working with animals, which is part of what the video is about. I do like animals, and yeah, I'm just gonna get to the point now. But I'm just saying why people, including this guy, has this fatigue and feels like he has to sleep all day, and it's because of all this burnout from spending every waking moment working, which is what I do too, because I'm a carer for my mum and she is ill at the minute, so I'm having to be on call 24/7 like it used to be when she first told me about how I had to be on call 24/7, which is absolutely ridiculous. We don't even have anyone coming in to help like me look after my mum, which is ridiculous. She won't allow it. She deprives me of that privilege. And I want to talk more about this, but I'm going to jump into the actual proper subject of this video, which is the response to, well, I Hate Dogs and Kane on official, but I just wanted to respond to I Hate Dogs about his, like, why he slept in that day because he'd been working himself to death. And he thinks it's not normal. Well, it is normal if you have a demanding job or you spend every waking hour working, and in your free time you spend it exercising or doing a lot of physical activities in your free time, and maybe you only get like 4 hours sleep or some stupid amount of sleep that is stupid. Hello, Anthony. Thank you. The necklaces I got for my birthday. My birthday was last Sunday, and now I've got all these necklaces. This actually is from a Furby. That was from a birthday 2 years ago. So all of these I got for a birthday present. And these technically were from also my birthday last year as well, because I wanted ears to cosplay as Jeremiah with the blonde wig. Obviously my real hair's like really like brighter blonde now because I've just had that done as well. So now the ears go with the hair a bit better. So anyway, yeah. So what I wanted to say is I have always liked dogs very much because I always thought they looked really cool. I was always particularly drawn to dogs like collies. You know those rough collies, I think they're called, or Shelties, I don't really know. Rough collies and Shelties look the same, so I'm not sure if they're the same breed. I'm sure Shelties are smaller, and rough collies are like more German Shepherd sized, or maybe a bit smaller than German Shepherds, but definitely collie sized. Whereas Sheltie collies are like really small, I guess. They're almost akin to like maybe a medium-sized poodle, or like a miniature poodle, not a toy poodle but a miniature poodle. And so the very first dog I always used to love was a poodle, and then one day I decided, well, actually since I was a really little kid I said I wanted to be a dog. So I used to walk on all fours, and I used to have my mum put my hair in like 2 ponytails, one at either side, so it looked like dog ears. And the very first dog I really loved and wanted to be was a poodle, because I watched Oliver and Company, and the very first poodle I ever saw, like a cartoon poodle, was Georgette the poodle from Oliver and Company, and I was a really big fan of hers. So I used to like get people to buy me lots of stuff to do with poodles, particularly grandma and granddad, because they were able to find anything. Like at the time poodles were not very popular, so it was really hard to get poodle related toys, ornaments, stuffed toys and merchandise. But my grandma and granddad actually were really good at finding rare things that are not very popular. So they managed to find me lots of poodle paraphernalia, including pictures, newspaper clippings, toys, plastic toys, soft toys, plushies, and ornaments, everything to do with poodles. So I had a big poodle collection, and it was building. So I used to pretend to be a dog, a poodle, at grandma's house. She made me a poodle costume. It was basically just fur that went around here, fur that went on your head, fur around on the wrists and ankles, and that was pretty much it. It was just like a strip that went round these areas that were just kind of a bobbly, woolly material. So I used to, as a kid, I used to love to pretend to be a dog. And then when I got older, about 13, actually 12, 13, I started developing an interest in other dogs, and I used to look them up online because that's when I first started going on the internet. So I would look up different breeds of dogs, particularly German Shepherds, Huskies, and Pomeranians. Surprisingly, not poodles. I still liked poodles, but that wasn't my obsession at the time. My obsession was these collies and collies, poodles, German Shepherds, Huskies, and Pomeranians. I don't know why. I didn't really look up Shelties or Rough Collies or whatever they're called. But yeah, I did like them. And my very first dog, like, persona that I created, because the poodle wasn't a persona exactly, it was just me pretending to be a random dog. But I actually created a German Shepherd. Now, the reason why is because my mum actually created it for me. She said I should be a German Shepherd because she was like, she was encouraging and supported me being like a dog. So basically, that's my history of absolutely adoring dogs, at least when I was a child. We had a dog, and his name was Baldric. Now, what happened with Baldric was we got him from a litter for we had this couple who used to live at our house, and they moved out, and they lived in this beautiful house, gorgeous old big house. It was really different, unusual house with lots of nooks and crannies inside and outside, like a really cool garden. And they had these two dogs, a female Labrador, I think it was, and they had a male pit bull. Now, the pit bull, it wasn't the kind of pit bull that you know of today. It's a different kind of pit bull that people used to know, which it was these like little white dogs, and they have these weird shaped noses and these little beady eyes, like these little, I think they're called terrier, like they're a pit bull terrier or something, or I don't know. They're like these little dogs that have these long, weird, bent noses, and they have these spiky ears and these little tiny eyes. They don't really look very harmful, but they're well known for never letting go. The very vicious dogs. And they used to bark like fucking crazy. And people often say that Labradors are like nice, docile, calm dogs. They are not. Labradors are the most aggressive, the most boisterous dogs I've ever known. They're worse than pit bulls. Like, people think pit bulls are bad, but actually my experience with pit bulls is really good because they're all friendly, they're all docile, and even when another dog will start barking and getting all nasty, the pit bulls are like dead calm, and they're just like, I want to play, and they're like, woof, 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 woof. Like, and it's a different breed of dog. It was actually a poodle, which is another dog that's known for being nice and calm and docile and really intelligent and really easy to train. But actually poodles are really vicious, and they jump up a lot and they bark a lot. They're actually really nasty. And that's my experience with poodles, and basically all the dogs that are supposed to be nice, calm, docile, easy to train. Hi Grace, how are you doing? Where are you from? And all the pit bulls that I've ever met have all been friendly. All the bully breeds. I've seen XL bullies, little bullies, pit bulls, pit bull terriers, mastiffs, boxers. All of these bully breeds that I've met have just been so nice, so calm, so docile, just really friendly, just not jumping up. They don't bite you, they don't bark, nothing. They're like so nice. So they must have really good owners or something, I don't know, but even the owners sometimes are really nasty, like just kind of neglectful of the dogs, but the dogs are always well behaved that I've seen. So yeah, they could be a little terror sometimes, dogs, but like my experience is that the Labradors were really boisterous, and kind of aggressive. So the mother was like that. The mother would jump up and like just be really annoying, and they used to have to put the dog away before I came because they particularly jumped up at children, so they had to put the Labrador away. But they let in the dad, and the dad was really nice and calm. And I remember when they first sent him into the room, which was the kitchen where all the puppies were, they let him in and it was like, oh my god. And he was like, it's okay, he's calm, he doesn't jump up. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like really scared at first. And then, yeah, it was the mother that was just dead boisterous. And the puppies were just so cute. They were just so tiny, but they said we could have one. So I was picking one of them. I picked the worst one. Guys, I picked the worst one. I was about to pick the black one, but instead I picked the sandy coloured, like yellow one. And oh my god, he was like the worst. He would jumped up and he barked a lot. So my mum had to keep him in the kitchen because he couldn't be around me, because I was only little. I was only a toddler when we got him, and he used to jump up at me. Every time he saw me, he would jump up at me. So I had to be kept separate from him. So he lived in the kitchen and I was in the rest of the house. And I didn't think it was fair because I really wanted to be in the kitchen because that was like the family room. That's where everybody spent the most time, and it just like there was loads of stuff happening in the kitchen. Like people think it's the living room, but it's not. It's the kitchen, definitely. At least at our house anyway, the kitchen's definitely the heart of the house. And I couldn't go in the kitchen because of this bloody... It grew up so fast, like over in a week or two. It was massive. And it was definitely bigger than a pit bull. Like they say, this was a tiny pit bull. One of those white ones with the funny nose, like dead long, bent looking noses. And yeah, he inherited his mother's size and boisterousness. So yeah, that sucked. So I think I was 14, maybe even 13 before me and the dog could be in the same room together. Because he was older now when I was that age. He wasn't as boisterous. He was still quite boisterous, but because he got used to me, he stopped jumping up. But yeah, he used to jump up and act like a puppy, even well into his old age. But we'd managed to get him to stop jumping up at me. Well, it took a while. And then he lived in the yard, but then he was allowed to go in the back, and then he was allowed to go in the kitchen and live in the kitchen again. So when I was a little kid, he was allocated to the yard, and he lived in the yard. And for shelter, he had the boiler room, which got really warm in winter because it's a boiler room. So he had a shelter, and my mum fed him once or twice a day and let him out in the garden for exercise. And he never got walked. But then later on, when I was about 10, my mum started taking him out for walks, only once a day though, and the rest of the time she'd let him out in the garden to just run around. And he never got played with, he was just let in the garden. And he used to bark at dogs going past, and he used to bark at dogs when we were out on walks, and he used to start fighting dogs. He wasn't bothered about children or people, just other dogs. And he used to bark at them, and if he had the chance, he would fight them. And the reason why he did this was because they started fighting with him, and he was docile. But then one day he decided enough's enough, and he would be the instigator of the attacks, and he would start fighting the other dogs. And then basically when I was about 15, he died because he had these really terrible health issues. So when he started getting the health issues, which was when I was about 13 or 14, or maybe before then actually, maybe it was when I was like 11 or 12, he looked a mess. He looked really skinny. He was being fed, like he was well fed, but he was really skinny. It was mainly because of his breed, but also, I don't know, his health issues made him skinny. But he also had like loads of shit on his bum, like urine and shit on his bum, which he was cleaned off every day. But people would report my mum for animal neglect. And basically, even when it was proven by the vet and his living conditions were proven, and it was confirmed that the dog was actually spoiled and being treated really good, they still hounded us. And it was a woman called Patsy Shepherd, and she would not let it go. She was from the RSPCA, and she continued to harass us for years, to the point where my mum said, "This is not worth it. I think I should just get rid of the dog because I'm sick of being harassed and hounded." And even the neighbours started, like, okay, so my mum put a notice on the gate saying, "Do not feed the dog, he's on a special diet of chicken and rice." And people just kept feeding him stuff he shouldn't have, including chocolate, which is toxic and poisonous to dogs. And we had kids looking over the wall saying, "I'm going to get you some chocolate to our dog." And I'm like, "You're fucking not giving our dog chocolate, he's already not well." But yeah, we got hounded and accused of animal abuse because the dog was ill, and these people would not let it go. And the neighbours weren't helping. I think they deliberately did it. I think that they deliberately fed the dog despite him not being allowed to have that food, because they were trying to deliberately make him ill so that they could further attack us and accuse us of dog abuse. Or like I say, my mum, because I was a child, so it wouldn't be on me. Hi Dean, you sent me a message on Facebook. I won't have seen it because I've been unable to sign into that account. But I will try. I don't really want to put my alternative one on here, to be honest with you. My other Facebook. I've got a few Facebooks because they keep going, "Sounds deliberate. Chocolate is well known to be toxic." Yeah, exactly. So basically, people would deliberately feed the dog to make him ill so that then they could harass us further and say, "Okay, so the reason why we hate you," like, because the neighbors hate us, like the local people hate us and the local kids. And it's like a vendetta because we've never done anything wrong, but they will plant things and like frame us for things. So one of them was to make the dog ill so that they could then, these very people who have made him ill, or at least contributed to his existing illness, so that they could then report us to the RSPCA for not dog abuse and shit. So they deliberately would do that. And then even with our second dog, but I'll tell you about the second dog in a minute, so don't go away. So the first, we're still on the first dog. Would Patreon be better to message on? Yeah, you can do that. I will try and sign on to my other account soon. I mean, that's technically my main account, but yeah, and don't forget to become a Patreon, but only if you guys like art and just pictures of me. So it's nothing to do with dogs, by the way, because I'm thinking that people on here, if they come from their channels, like I Hate Dogs' channel, or any of the I Hate Dogs channels, you know, the different ones about hating dogs, it won't be for you. It's not about dogs or anything like that. It's about, like I say, this channel was mainly about like fat stuff and like dressing up and like furry stuff and all that kind of stuff. So art, like music, adventures and stuff like that. So that's the kind of things on my Patreon. So if you're not into that kind of thing, if you're not into art, particularly art, I don't really call it a fetish, but a lot of people do for some reason. But for me, it's like a serious thing. It's not just a fetish. So I only call it a fetish because it's something a bit different that people aren't really usually into. Sorry, I tried to thingy the camera away, but of course, no matter what I do, it's always facing me because it's on a selfie stick, so it's kind of annoying. So I'm really sorry about that. I'm still not 100% well. So yeah, I was thinking of making a channel similar to like the I Hate Dogs channel, but I'm thinking there's already a lot of stuff that covers like dog stuff. I might do some videos on it myself, because I just want to say that these people, these I Hate Dogs, do make a lot of good points about dogs and why they're bad and why they're just a nuisance rather than a boon to society. And I do agree with them. I do agree with you guys, because this is a response to you. So I'm going to say you because I'm hoping you will watch this. And I really hope you're patient enough to watch the whole video, because this is I'm talking about my experience with dogs, and also I'm talking about some of the points you make and why I do agree. Although I don't think I'll ever hate dogs, because I've had this history with dogs that's just part of my experience, and it's like a big, like it's really important. So I can't really say that I hate dogs or that I think the world would be better without them. But I definitely do agree with, well, all of the points that you guys make anyway. So, you know, thank you, Axanumanumanumanum, for putting all the links. But for anybody wanting to see the fat stuff, then you can go to my Patreon. So my art and fat stuff. I have new ones of me dressed as in my pharaoh costume. That's not really a costume. Not really a costume, because we all know I'm the pharaoh. Changing my persona or whatever. Anyway, so back to the story. So people were trying to frame us as bad people so that they could report us. So there you go. So there's one reason why dogs are bad, because if people think that because every time a dog gets ill or has some kind of problem with it, people automatically assume that you're neglecting or abusing it. So this is one of the reasons why we've made a conscious decision not to get a dog, because we're afraid that if we get a dog and the dog has a limp or the dog gets skinny again, that people are just gonna see the dog and report us and try and get us on that, even if it's not our fault, which it isn't. You know, it never was with our other two dogs. It's just that they lived a long, happy, healthy life, and then in the end they got really ill. And like I say, unfortunately one of them escaped, and people saw it, including our mortal enemy, DH. That we've just nicknamed Mole Woman. I don't know whether I should mention her name on this, although I don't really think that she watches this or any of her associates. But I do think that people around here watch my channel, so I do have to be careful. Even though I don't see why I should, because I think they should all be exposed for the nasty, horrible shitbags that they all are. Woof, 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 woof. I'm sorry. I got catarrh in my throat and I can't speak too good. So anyway, so I'm not gonna, partially, this is not the dog's fault, so I can't say this is the reason I hate dogs, but it's a reason why we won't get a dog for as long as we live here anyway. Because people, if your dog is ill, or it looks ill, or whatever, people around here have this vendetta against us, so they will use that to say these people, me apparently now, not even my mum, even though it's technically my mum's dogs and her responsibility, but for some reason they accuse me personally now, because it's me that they're after. It's me that they victimize now, not my mum. It used to be my mum when I was 10, 11, when they all first started harassing us and hating on us. It used to be my mum that they harassed and would accuse of being a witch and stuff. And by proxy, I apparently was a witch as well, but I didn't find that out until later, that they all thought I was a witch when they chanted witch, witch, witch at me. But it was always my mum that they targeted, not me. But then when I was older, they said that then they were trying to use anything that they could, because they couldn't just go around telling people, well, we hate those people because they're weird. Fuck you, Wesley. You're not welcome. Wait, should we hide the user, or should we just... yeah, fuck off. I don't care. Unfortunately, you can only ban him for 30 minutes, but every time he comes, I'm just gonna ban him. So, yeah, fuck you. I bet it's that Wesley who used to harass us, because Wesley was one of the first shitheads that used to harass us, actually. I'm not saying it's this Wesley, because I don't know his last name, but it was a Wesley and a Michael who used to harass us. They were the first kids to harass us when I was about 11. My mum said it was when I was 10, but it was when I was 11 that they all started coming here and playing in the garden. and then they'd get like fucking cheeky with us and stuff if we didn't allow them in the garden. So it was a Wesley and it was a Michael. Now I know Michael won't be coming on this channel, is because he's actually dead. He died from a motorcycle accident, but he was one of the first hooligans to harass us. He actually came in the house. He like knocked on the door. As soon as my mum opened the door, him and Wesley just started running in the house and just ran all over the house. It was them that started this whole shitty like mess off and rumors. So I'm not dealing with shitheads coming on here. But Wesley is just someone who put a nasty comment on this in this live stream. Anyway, fuck you. It's not about you. It's about the response to I Hate Dogs channel. He live streams, and I would like to keep this as focused as possible because I don't want him getting bored and going off the stream. If he does view it anyway, because I don't even know if he's going to view it. He might think it's really boring or not worth his time, but hopefully he will see this and he will watch the whole thing because I do have a lot to say on the subject. Because these stories are very significant. This is my story. This is the shit I had to deal with because of the dogs. But yeah, so fuck you. This is not a chance for people to come and, you know, harass me. Because I get that in real life enough. I don't need it online. As my friend said, I get disrespected by the local people. I get treated like shit by my mum and people online. I don't really need it. So fuck you all. I'm trying to make a serious video and I'm trying to make a serious channel. So I don't really care because I won't give up. Like people say I should just stop making videos and I should stop doing live streams, but I'm not going to give up because I'm sure loads of people got shit in the beginning when they were first starting making a channel, but then, you know, they push past it and they get more positive stuff. And the people on this channel don't have any grounds to like think badly of me because I've done nothing but just exist, and I've done nothing but just be like fucking abused by people in my own home and the local people, which is an absolute crime, and all these people actually should end up in jail. So just bear that in mind, because you will. I know y'all think you get away with it now, but it won't be like that forever. I will personally see to it. It's just that you guys think that I'm not in a position of power right now, so y'all think that you can just continue giving me shit. That's a crime. Because like my friend said, I am a vulnerable adult. And it's an actual crime to harass somebody who isn't a vulnerable adult. Because I am abused and I possibly have autism, but I've not been diagnosed. But if it turns out that I have autism, it means I'm in the category to be protected. And I guess they don't have that in America, which is why people like Chris Chan and other famous autistic people just got hate on and nothing was done about those nasty, horrible people. But I guess they don't have that in America, but here we're protected. And anyone seen to be hating on someone like me is actually eligible to go to prison. And everybody who has treated me badly is prison potential. And I will, like I say, make sure. So, anyway, as I was saying before I was so really interrupted, and I'm sorry, Mr. I Hate Dogs channel, if you're watching this for the interruption, but, you know, I gotta speak out against all the nasty, horrible, shitty people. I'm not even gonna call them haters, they don't even deserve, like, this common use term. They're not haters, they are criminals. They're all criminals. All of them, because they're abusers and coercive. I don't know what the word is for someone who uses coercion. but they all doing because I've read up on it, narcissistic abusive behavior towards me, and that makes them bona fide criminals. So everyone who gives me grief is an actual criminal. Anyway, so before I was so rudely interrupted, I'm going to go back to what I was talking about. So, I apologize again if I hate dogs and K non-official are watching this, because I hope that they are eventually going to watch it. So, where was I? Right, so when I was 17, I created a new persona that was a wolf character called Lord Dorian. And at this particular stage, I was getting harassed relentlessly by the local kids, particularly this girl who's the mole woman's daughter. And she was like a ladette, so she wore like tracksuits and always had her hair like in a tight ponytail at the back. And she was like the leader of the hooligan gang, particularly the girl gang. So there was two gangs. There was the boy gang, which were like older teenage boys, and then there was the girl gang, which was the older teenage girls. And she was the leader of the girl gang, but they were all like the same gang. It's just that mostly the girls hung out together, and then the boys would hang out separate, but sometimes they'd all come together. Anyway, so they'd been relentlessly harassing me and my mum for quite a few years since I was like 16. We had like a break when I was about 16, but then they started relentlessly harassing me when I was 17. And then they actually found me on Facebook at the time. I guess I was called Lord Dorian on Facebook, I don't know. And they found me. I don't know how they found me, because I didn't really give any of them my Facebook, but they found me somehow. And they started messaging me and harassing me on there. And I didn't really respond to them. But what I did was, I made this video. Not a video, it was a blog, and I copied and pasted all the nasty comments with the responses that I wanted to give, which were actually like absolutely tearing them apart. But I didn't actually respond to them this way. And because of all of this attention I was getting, I actually managed to get in touch. Like, she got in touch with me, the auntie of the leader of the girl gang. And she said she was really nice to me, and she was sympathetic about all the harassment I was getting from her family members plus their friends. So she said that she was going to get to the bottom of why they relentlessly harass us online and offline for all these years. And she went to talk to her niece, and her niece called her a smelly old woman. But she talked to her niece and her friends, she got them all together, and asked them why they've been relentlessly harassing me and my mum for all these years. Like, why is this happening? And she said, or she'll say they said, because her and her friends, the reason they had been relentlessly harassing us for all these years, actually those same people since I was 11, 12, is because of the dog. Because they thought we were neglecting / abusing the dog, because he was ill, he was skinny, his fur was urine soaked, and his bum was full of poo, and he had like all this crap around his eyes as well, because he had allergies to the grass, and he had hay fever, and he would go to the gate often and show himself off, so if anyone was passing and if the neighbours saw him, they automatically assumed we were neglecting, and they were extreme animal lovers apparently. Now let me just say that this girl, this leader girl, this hooligan girl, she stood there and said, I'm going to kill your fucking dog. I'm going to slash his throat. Now remember, these are the ones that claim to be animal lovers and claim that the reason they harass us is because we allegedly abused the dog. This is why I won't have dogs anymore. Because having a dog is not worth. If someone has a vendetta against you, they will use your fucking dog against you. they will not only make the dog ill or more ill than it already is, so it looks really bad, they will also report you for dog neglect or abuse because they themselves have made the dog look worse, like visibly worse, so that whoever they report you to can physically see this dog is in a bad state. I can't believe it. I absolutely can't believe that they will go so low as to actually make your dog ill so that they can blame you for dog neglect and report you for negligence of the dog. And I'm still getting it to this day. Now remember, this was like 50 million years ago. But they don't have a reason to hate me. So they make reasons. They make reasons to spread lies and spread rumors and get us on something. And it's like, what are they gonna do to us exactly? All they're gonna fucking do is take the dog away anyway or put it down. Like, what are they gonna do? Because it's obviously going to be proven that we're not neglecting the dog. The dog was under the fucking vet. And he had letters and documents to prove that he was ill. And he had all this other proof, like, has a fucking sign saying, don't feed the fucking dog, because he's on a special diet of chicken and rice and pasta. That's all he was allowed to eat. People can be so bloody cruel. You don't deserve it. Thank you. Thank you, Dean. But yeah, it's not worth getting a dog for this. So if any of you guys get targeted by your neighbors for something stupid, like you being weird or crazy, like I do, because that's what that person said, that Wesley, who I've just banned from the channel, he just said, you're not a witch, you're just crazy. I was like, well, I'm not denying it, but But yeah, that's what they all think of me around here. They all think I'm crazy. They all think I'm weird. Before me, it was my mum. They all thought she was weird. I've been called a psychopath. I've been called all sorts of names around here. But they use your dog to get to you. So if you get targeted by your local people or neighbors, do not get a dog. They will use that against you. And I will admit, I'm actually, to this day, really angry with my dog. Not the first dog, but the second dog. Because I'll tell you, now this is the next story, this is what really gets my goat up, and this is why I agree with the I hate dogs, that dogs can be bad. Like, I like dogs for my own personal reasons, which is, like I say, my history of really liking how dogs look, and kind of wanting to have, like, personas of dogs and stuff, and, like, act like a dog sometimes, because it can be fun, like, to be a pet and stuff. Like, I used to do that as a child. And, you know, there's lots of adults that do it as adults. Like the pup people. So I forgot to mention that when I was a kid, my mum used to favour the animals over me. And I would get in trouble for stuff. But if animals did anything wrong, if our dogs did anything wrong, and growing up, she's always, like, when the dogs have done anything wrong, they will, like, defend the dog and say it's my fault, and I will get in trouble for stuff. And if I try and train the dog or discipline the dog or tell it off or whatever, my mum will say leave the dog alone or leave the cats alone, and say that they're not being bad. Like, if the dog jumps up, or if the dog barges past you through a door and knocks you over, my mum will literally, like, say it's not the dog's fault. And oh shit, she asked me for a brew like fucking an hour ago. Hello. Thanks. Yeah, I got carried. My hand, it really hurts. My hand really hurt. Hang on, let me just check the dinner. Yeah, because it takes about half an hour for the oven to. Yeah, I've just left the oven a minute. So yeah, I'm very sorry. It's very dark in here, guys. I'm gonna put all the lights on. I've got to be careful because my hand is really painful, and I'm now having to really grip this freaking selfie stick. Oh god, my poor hand. I don't know what's wrong with my hand. I hope I've not got arthritis, because that's what it feels, how I imagine arthritis feels like. Ow, god, it hurts. It's in the joints, you see. Oh, please don't let me have arthritis. Arthritis is the worst, and I'm surprised that no one's trying to do. do a cure for that, because it's the worst thing ever. Because everybody's so bothered about cancer, nobody's trying to cure anything else. It's also really bad. Because even though it doesn't kill you, it still makes your quality of life really bad. And you have to live with that. Oh. But nobody cares about any other diseases or any other problems. Okay, I'm just gonna put the lamp in here. Now, if I don't get to finish my story for whatever reason, I will do a part 2. Well, anyway, so whenever the dog did anything naughty, my mum would just say he's not being naughty. Like, I'll say, the dog's been naughty. And my mum will say, what did he do? And I'll say, oh, he went barking, or he barged past me, or he didn't come back when I called, or he did this naughty. Like, you know, he will do something really dangerous or really annoying. And she'll say, oh, that's not naughty. You shouldn't tell him off for that. And it's like really annoying, because it's like dogs can do no wrong or something, and it's really annoying. It's like the dog used to do all sorts of bad things like that. Now I remember my mum has pain and limited mobility. She has arthritis, and she has like bad spine and everything, and stenosis and degenerative discs, and she's in constant pain, and if she goes over, she could break a hip or hurt herself really badly in some way. So the dog pushing past my mum, like, because what he would do is, the first dog, Baldric, what he would wait, it would be behind you, and he would wait for you to start going through a narrow doorway, and then he would deliberately like barge past. And I used to say to my mum, I said, you should stop him from doing that, that's really dangerous. And she'd say, no, it's not bad. And JD used to do the same thing. He used to, my mum would go through the door, and he would just suddenly run like through the door and run past my mum in the narrow hallway. And she didn't think that was bad for some reason. Like I said to her, I said, you should stop him from doing that. But she'd say, nah, he's just having fun, and he's just excited, he just wants to go out and have a wee. And I said, yeah, that's no excuse. She used to make excuses for him. Oh God, I can't see. I can't see. I've got my hands full, my hand hurts. Oh, there we go. I think I've got, I don't know, my hand really hurts today. My fingers really hurt. It's like the joints, it hurts. You know, my 2 middle fingers. It's hard to grip anything. I hope it's nothing bad. Yeah?
Oh,
What's she saying?
well, milk away. I'll put up no milk down this way.
Right, I'll go put them away.
Oh, can you put the beans out a little bit out oh, we need I remember. We need beef from bread.
Yeah, I know. I've put it on the list.
One slice left out of it.
Yeah.
I'm just doing some beans on toast in a bit.
Oh, man.
That's all I've got.
I'm starting dinner. What's going on?
Dinner?
I've started dinner.
I doubt it.
Not signed dinner. I don't know what you're talking about.
You can't start dinner at this time. It's funny. It's not like you can start dinner.
Well, I'd rather do that than make beans on toast in
Oh,
between.
okay, then. Well,
Okay.
you can start dinner then.
Yeah, I'd rather do that, yeah.
Yeah. Tasty.
Okay, I'm just going to put the oven on because it takes 50 million years. Right, well, I'd rather just do dinner. I mean, I'd rather not, because I'd rather spend time outside, but never mind. What am I doing again? What am I doing? Sorry about that. So yeah, so that's the history about how my mum used to always think no matter what, like, a dog could never do anything wrong. So she used to favour that, like, if I did the, like, similar things to the dog that was wrong by accident and not even deliberate, she would have a massive go at me. But if the dog did anything like really bad that was actually really, you know, like dangerous, or just really, like it was obvious that the dog. Oh shit! What am I doing? I'm just doing preheat. I'm not doing a time. The thumbnail's got this in it just because it's so cute, and it's a video about dogs. So basically, the history. So that's the history, and the dog, and yeah. When I got older, when I was about 18, I actually started training our current dog, which was JD at the time. We don't have him anymore because, like I say, he got really ill and he refused to eat anything. Like, he clearly wanted to eat, but he couldn't for some unknown reason. We didn't know at the time, but he got really ill. And the same thing happened. Now, this is the story about this field. This felt personal and it felt deliberate. But once the dog got really, really skinny and really ill, for the first time in an entire year, he decided it would be a cool idea to escape and go running off to the main road where there'd be loads of people to see him. And people, of course, came across him, and I went over there to go get him, and I'd say, like, I didn't even say anything, but people would be saying, "Are you looking for a dog?" And I'd say, "Yeah." And he said, "Yeah, there's that one that's brown and dead skinny." And I said, "Yeah. Well, he's over there on the main road and he could do with feeding." And I was like, "Fuck you, man. He won't eat. I've tried him with every food. Like, don't just assume. Like, don't tell me as if I don't know that it needs feeding. Like, fuck you." So he's like, "It needs feeding." And it's like, fuck that, man. We know it needs feeding. We've been trying to feed it every different kind of food in under the sun. We even tried him with corn products, which he loved at first, but then he stopped eating that as well. And then I went to the main road and I came across quite a few people, and it was like, well, so they'd say like, "Oh, it needs feeding." And I was like, "Well, don't you think I know that? I know that he won't eat." And he was like, "Well, he needs to go to the vet then." And I was like, "Yeah, know that too, but it's hard to get him there because all the vets were far away, and we didn't know how he would do in like a car or a taxi or anything because he hadn't been in one. Plus, we don't want people like you coming across him." That was literally, where's the phone? I can't see it. That was literally my mum's fear, is that if we took the dog to the vet, people would see him and accuse us. Hello? So we didn't want to take him to the vet just in case any of the shitty, nasty local people saw him. So it was them that were preventing him from going to the vet.
Right, I rang Save Style up.
So we went to the vet at like 11 at night.
And someone's supposed to come in tomorrow.
They took him in the taxi because he was so docile by then because he was so ill. I mean, he was like walking around constantly. It was weird. He wouldn't sit, he wouldn't lie down. And he was trying to get in places where that he couldn't get to. It was so weird. He was acting really strange. So we took him to the vet anyway, and they said it was kidney or liver, or I can't remember which one, failure.
Tomorrow. Well, anyway, I have.
Oh God. That doesn't sound good.
Check it out. For Safe Style to come through to, you know, for the door to the cellar.
Yeah.
Right, let's go to the hacked to pieces.
Yeah.
Not tomorrow, by the way.
What's the point?
But they said that they have to have it hacked to pieces and then his door fixed.
Right, okay.
Which is what they do anyway, because even if they themselves could actually do the job and not hack it to pieces, that's what we'll do, because they'll give you a new door, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Like they did with the bath. They had to break it to put the shower in. It smells like sawdust in here.
Yeah, well, anyway, the thing is, at least from now on,
Ow.
there shouldn't be a problem getting down to the cellar.
Okay.
Let me think about this. I've also told them about the back door handle.
Oh God, I don't feel good. Oh, that's better.
and to look at the two handles for the windows. One out the back, the utility room handle, because that never closes. That sort of, you can close it to a certain point and that's it. And the same with the kitchen one, I think. So I've asked them to look at that, so you need to just make sure it's, well, looks reasonable for somebody to look at. Do you know what I mean? So it's not quite, oh God, who lives in a house like this? Because I noticed that the ledge with all them lovely elephants on, there must have been about 1 million flipping spiders living around there, making nice little webbies over the poor beautiful elephants. Look. Anyway, are you still there, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, what was the other thing? And while he's there, I want to talk to him, or you talk to him about glass for the front and side, you know, your area.
Are we still bothering doing that then?
I can't hear you, Kirsty.
Are we still bothering doing that then?
Well, that's why I want to talk to them. Can they put some reinforced glass in? I want to know what the options are for glassware. That's why I've not told them about it. Do they have such a thing as reinforced glass? Or is the triple glazed glass the reinforced glass, if that makes any sense?
Uh-huh.
And then I just want to quote. It doesn't mean to say I'm going to do it, Kirsty. It just means to say if they do reinforced glass or whatever. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, if you're quite happy to leave them boarded up, they can stay boarded up. I'm not bothered.
Right.
Is that what you prefer?
Yeah, I mean, if it would save an expense that we don't really need.
That's absolutely fine. It was only me saying to you, Kirsty, that even if I'm asking for, because don't get this. He did, because I don't know where that slab of concrete came from.
Yeah.
They've deliberately come with a dirty, great big slab of concrete to deliberately break. They've not just come, thought, oh, you know what, while we're here, why don't we just pick up that brick and just throw it out the window and see what happens? They've come deliberately, there is a word for it, to come and do the job properly.
Potatoes.
That is where they have. There is a word for this, but it's annoying because I can't think of it.
I think I know the word you mean.
They have set out and said, right, we want to get through double glazed windows. What's going to do it?
God. Yeah, it's been like calculated.
Yeah, this is
Planned,
a set about calculated
something
agenda to do this job.
Our intent. Malicious intent. That's another good one.
That's another one, yeah, malicious intent.
Oh, that's cute.
And unfortunately, we didn't have the CCTV.
gonna exercise now. Just that box that you set up. Oh God. Oh, I'm not explaining it. I can't be bothered. Where'd the light go? Do. Bitter and chronic. Oh God, she's gonna ring me again. I've heard her just say that. She can't ring me because her phone's died. Oh, for God's sake. I'm never gonna get to do anything else. Oh, see ya! Yes, I have. I have got more interesting things to do than. Oh, I do have more interesting things to do, actually. Yes, it is. Just the box. When I saw it, it was quite big. do a lot of caring for things. Trying to do anything that might be dangerous.
You know, like a phone is very challenging time.
Well, he tries to use his teeth to open coffins. He's had teeth removed now because he said he was pain in his teeth. So try to just stick his tape, get his teeth taken to his things now, so I don't have to just deal with it while I'm on the phone. He got pissed off at Robert when we went to bed again. He went, shut up, boy.
Oh, yeah, you can.
It was so funny. He didn't need to posh boys no more. He just did as he was told. He got on the floor and he thought it was funny. He was saying the same thing.
How did you not jump out? It's a me and one and a e-tap. Kick him in the crotch or kick him in the leg.
Yeah.
Robert thinks, you see now, people like me are actually doing the very thing he wants them to do.
Taking the piss out of
He
him.
thinks we don't use it.
It was so funny.
I don't mind the trouble.
What to it?
Take the piss out of him.
I did take the piss out.
Try and think like that. Try and bring the cake out of the cake inside.
Robert saying shut up, boy.
Just trying to make Robert look ridiculous.
She's like, boy, get off me. I used the whip on him. It was hilarious. I got a video. Do you want to see it? You gotta see the video.
I don't understand what you mean. And more about people helping people now. Calm down.
Dinner's on, yes. It is. God, I think I'm finally allowed to go now. Sorry about that, guys. When my mum wants to talk to me, she wants to talk to me. And there's no getting out of it. You just got to sit there and just, like, put up with it. Because I've tried, not doing that. I've tried, like, getting away. But she won't let it happen. She'll just keep calling me. Any which way she can call me, whether it's via phones or via voice. And you can't escape it. There's no point in ignoring her, because she will just get pissed and ignore you and punish you in one way or another. So it's best to just give her what she wants and just go in there and talk and just kind of get it over with. So I'm very sorry about that, of the interruption. But I think she's satisfied now, and I mean, I can't really complain really, because she's been asleep for most of the day. So I've been able to do what I want without interruption. So I can't really complain. But I guess I can continue with my sort of experience story now. So part of it was like what I said about how my mum would let the dog get away with everything. Part of it was how I took the dog to the vet at like 11 at night, and then I got hounded at some point after that, and he got put down because he was too far gone for anything to be happened. And he'd had a long life now. He'd had his sort of dog's lifespan at this point, so the only thing he had in store for his future was just being pretty much kept at the vet on a drip. Like, he wouldn't have much of a quality of life like that, so they asked me if I wanted to do the treatment and just have him permanently on a drip, so he wouldn't be able to do anything, pretty much just have to stand slash sit there, lie down, whatever, with a drip permanently attached to him, because I guess he couldn't really do anything or move around with a drip, I don't know. Unless they could just attach it to his body so he can still act normal and come home and everything, I don't know. But they made it seem like he would just be, you know, like staying in one place, like just at the vets for the rest of his life on a drip, and that just didn't seem to be no life. So we opted, like, my mum was on the phone the whole time, so she had a say in everything. And my mum asked me, you know, what she thought was best. She asked for my opinion. So I said I opted to put him down. It seemed like the easy choice, because he would just not have any quality of life, being just stuck in the vet on a drip. And then shortly after that, I got hounded by that horrible, horrible, vile woman who were just like, she was just shouting things across the street to me when she saw me. And I wasn't bothered about her at the time because I hadn't really had any trouble with her. So I told her 1 minute while I crossed the street, and I said I'd talk to her when I got over there because she was shouting things at me. And she was just like, that dog's disgusting, it needs to go to a vet, it needs to be fed, whatever. And I told her it's been to a vet, and the vet said it was kidney or liver or whatever the fuck it was, failure. And she kept saying, well, so it's like, well, it needs to go to a vet, and then it's like, well, it needs to be put down. I said, that's what happened, you know. We took him to a vet and they put him down. And then, you know, that was all sort of like discussed, and she still carried on saying, that dog's disgusting. And I'm like, what the hell is your problem? I just said he was ill. And he wouldn't eat. And he was taken to a vet and he was put down. So, like, what more the fuck do you want? And then she couldn't just leave it alone. And at some point after that, we got fucking reported to the RSPCA. I know it's her because there was nobody else that was asked. Even those people who said the dog needs to be, like, it needs feeding and stuff, even they didn't seem that bothered. And she's like the only one that seems to have a vendetta, and have had a vendetta since I was like 16, 17, against us all these years. So I know it was her. So after that, you know, I told the vet that, you know, well, not the vet, the RSPCA person that came round, told him the story of the whole thing, and he said, oh yeah, it's definitely like a malicious intent and like a vendetta type thing, this report. A malicious report. So, you know, and it's like, what could they have done at this point? Like, you know, the dog's dead. It's like, it's not like they can take the dog away now at this point. So even after the dog had been treated and then put down, and, you know, it's revealed that he's lived 15 long years, I got hounded by that fucking woman every time she saw me after that. She gave me a hard time, and she was threatening, and she said, you know, she kept saying the dog was disgusting and I abused dogs and all this shit. And she accused us of abusing every dog we have. I've actually got the whole exchange on video as well. It was gross, it was terrible. She just... And to this day, if we come across each other, she'll just glower at me. So, of course, after that, I couldn't help but think that this was the dog's one last attempt to, like, give, like, a big fuck you to me for some reason. And he deliberately escaped because he didn't escape before, and there will have been many times when some parcel person or the postman has left the gate open, or some kids had been, like, fucking about with the gate and left it open. And he never tried to escape before. But now that he was looking his worst, and after my mum said that she doesn't want to take him to the vet because she doesn't want, well, not in broad daylight, because she didn't want any of the neighbours to see, because we know how they are. They're quick to, you know, report you if they think, if your dog's ill, and they automatically assume that you're abusing it. Like, we know what the neighbours are like, and it's happened before. So my mum was literally terrified to take him to a vet because of this. So, yeah, my mum decided it's not worth having another dog after this. And I thought, if I ever move away from this area, I kind of thought the same thing, because I might move into another area where people get the wrong end of the stick if I had a dog and it got ill at any point. Because for some reason everybody assumes that if a dog is ill, then, oh, it must be being abused and neglected. So, that was that. What was my next point now? Another point, of course, is that, so I told you guys that I was thinking of making a channel that was kind of similar to these I hate dog sort of channels, but instead it would be about kids, about how I hate kids. Because one of the things that these I hate dog channels iterate a lot is that dogs' primary victims and targets are children and teenagers and young people. And they made the point that dogs are evil and bad because they target children, and children are vulnerable and they are, like, weak. So that's why the dogs target them, because dogs are predatory animals. And you know what I say to that? I say, I think in this case, I think the dogs are correct. Because another iterated thing that this person said on the live stream I saw last night, was that, you know, if the dog is going after people, it could be because they see them as evil, because they recognize evil in them, because they themselves are evil, like the dogs are evil, because they want to attack anything that moves or does anything, any movements at all, and provokes them in some way. And I'm like, you know what? I think dogs are right. I think dogs target children because they see them as evil. And kids are evil little shits. Because even all these little kids that have been, like, they've been playing in the church every fucking single day for about 3 months now. They've never done that. They've not done that in a very long time. Like, yeah, they have, like, all this year they've been playing in the church. And I saw kids sort of playing in the church area, but not this front bit here, like at the back, because that's where they're all coming from. They all live at the back. So on that street behind the church over there, that's where they live. Now, maybe not those blocks on the actual street, but in the estate that's, like, down this one street. And it's kind of, like, more isolated, all these houses and, like, properties. And then there's another one at the back of us here that's a new estate, where you go, it's like a bit of a cul-de-sac, and they all live like that. They all live like there now, and they all come and they've been playing in there. But it's only since the fucking whoever owns and takes care of the church has decided to put these signs up saying clean up after your dog because children play here. And I'm like, no, that's not what the sign should say. The sign should say, don't let your dogs crap here. Pick up after your dogs. In fact, don't bring your dogs in the church area at all, because it's not a park. It's not a dog park. It's not a children's park. It's a freaking church. A church is not a playground. Is it consummated ground? I don't know. But it's holy ground. It is not for dogs. It is not for dog crap. And it is not for people taking their dogs there to walk around. And it is not for children to be playing there. There shouldn't be signs there at all saying pick up after your dog. Children play here. Because it's only since these fucking signs have been put up that the children have started playing there, and now they've started looking over, because our fence is shared with the church fence. So now they look over, and every time I'm in the fucking garden, I can't have any peace in my garden because the fucking kids look over into the garden. And they will just stay there and gawk at you and call you names and call you fucking stupid bitch and call you all sorts of horrible names and nasty things. Now, these are very small children. These were not like older ones. Like, it's usually the teenagers that are quite cheeky and brazen and nasty. But these were little kids. They looked about 5, 6, 7, like those age groups. And they were cheeky as hell. They were brazen. They were nasty. They were verbally abusive. They were trespassed. They threw stuff over, and they've even started coming onto the property and just like goading us and verbally abusing us and smashing up our property if we're not there. But they're so brazen that they'll even do stuff while you're right there. And I uploaded a video a while ago, and I got all these comments saying, oh, well, they only do all this stuff because you don't go out there and tell them off, and you don't go out there and do anything, and you don't react. And like one wise person said, it doesn't matter if you react or don't react. If you don't react, they see you as, well, they just think, oh, we can get away with it because nobody does anything. But if you do react, then they think, oh, this is dead exciting. We get a response. That's what they want. They want you to react. They want you to chase them. They want you to shout and scream all down the street. They want the attention. And then what they do is, when you react to them and tell them to stop or whatever, they go back to their mates, their older mates, and say, oh, she shouted at us and she chased us and oh. And they're like, right, well, we're going to go and get revenge. And then they come and they start smashing up the property. It doesn't work. So you people can say, oh, well, they're doing it because they don't get any consequences from you. And they think that you can do whatever they want. And it's like, well, they do anyway. Even if I was to react to them, they will get more pissed off at you. And they'll either think, well, this is a bit of excitement, we'll keep coming back because we get a reaction from them. Or They will, like I say, tell their parents even. They'll tell their older siblings, they'll tell their older friends, their cousins, whatever, that are like teenagers, and they come back and they do even fucking worse. Because in their eyes, if you go out there and tell them off, it's like a challenge to them, and it's kind of like, right, well, you've told us off, we're gonna do worse to you now. And they also like accuse you of chasing them, so, oh, you must be a paedophile, you must be this, you must be that, because you chase children, you must be a predator of some sort. Do you know what I mean? It's like they've trespassed on your property. They come on your property, and then when you do something, they have the gall to say you're the bad person and you're the criminal. And it's like, well, if you don't like me and if you're so scared of me, like they claim, don't come to my fucking property. Don't look over my fence. Don't come onto the property. Don't what's that word, like goad me into doing stuff, like riling me up to go out there. If I was a dog, I would react the same fucking way. I mean, a dog won't think like that. Well, if I react to those kids, they'll keep doing it. A dog would go out there and it would maul that child because it's come onto your property and it's reacting off of you because it knows that you're angry with the kids coming on the property. So the dog will be like, "Arr," as well, because the dog literally just copied me. Because when this first started coming and harassing us, when I got a bit braver and a bit more confident, I started going out there and like running at the kids if they were looking over the wall or whatever, or chasing them out. And the dog saw me do that and he copied it, and he started going over there as well, and he'd bark at them and act dead vicious. And I used to encourage it. I used to say good boy. I used to say bite the fucking heads off. I used to say maul him. You know, I used to say all of that to JD, and I'd give him treats and stuff. So, but unfortunately, if they actually came in the property, the dog would just be soft and nice. He would never harm a fly. The only things that he harmed were other dogs, especially little dogs, which are also really nasty. All the little dogs around here are all yappy and nasty and horrible. So I kind of don't blame the dog for acting aggressive towards children, or any dog acting aggressive towards children, because they recognize that children are little demons. They are absolute little demons. They are not sweet, innocent little things like everyone. Children's is true, just like these I hate dog channels. They say about how dogs' true nature is vicious and attack, and I want to bite and maul and bloodthirsty. Well, it's the same with children. Naturally, children are, I want to go and harass these people. I want to go and wreck their property. I want to go and trespass on their property. And if you go to school, it's like, I'm going to bully this other kid, and you know, I'm going to pull this girl's hair, and I'm going to throw something at someone. And there was this one thing whereby in this classroom, the bully was behind the victim, and she kept stabbing the victim with a little knife in the back of the neck. And then it got worse and worse, like really. And then, of course, nobody could see it. The other kids would see it, but they wouldn't say anything. And the teacher, if you told them, they wouldn't believe you, because they say I didn't do it, and then that would be the end of it. And it's like kids are really cruel and nasty. So I'm not going to say that dogs are better than kids, but I will put them in the same category. They're both bloodthirsty, they're both evil, they're both naturally bad behaviored. Like, you have to like they were saying about the dogs and how you have to really train them to get all the bad behaviors out of them. That really the bad behaviors are their natural behaviors, but you have to vigorously train them to be able to cope in human society, like to not have anxiety, to not have fear, to not be aggressive, and to not barge past someone, and to not jump up. And like any bad behaviors, they have to be really trained out of, but naturally they would do these things, pee on the carpet, rip things up, so on and so forth. Kids are the same. Naturally, kids would just behave badly. They will just do whatever they think they can get away with. And the parents obviously around here don't train their children to behave. So it's like one of the comments on that video that I got was that kids generally harass people that they don't respect. So I must be someone who's deeply disrespected in the community, and they told me I should work on that. And I was like, how? If these kids have decided I'm someone that they don't respect, how am I supposed to change their minds? Once people like this, including kids, including adults, get it into their head that you're someone that they don't like and don't respect, what can you do to change that? You can't. Once people have an idea in their head, there's very little you can do to stop it. The only thing I can do is get some kind of high-ranking job in the area. I don't know what, like become a fucking vicar. They're the most respected people on earth. Now, reverends, in everyone's eyes, is the gateway between them and heaven. So in order to get to heaven, they have to get cozied up to the priest or reverend or vicar. So pretty much any kind of church clergyman in whatever religion your area is in. Like, I would recommend this to anyone, whether you're religious or not, become a church job, like get a job in the church. Be a nun, be a vicar, be a priest, be a reverend, be a church caretaker, like whatever job you can get in the church, I'd say get that. They are the most again, people are all atheists these days, they're all agnostic, but they worship priests and vicars like they are gods themselves, because they are the closest things to God. So people think that by getting good with a vicar or priest or reverend, like we have next door, that they're guaranteed to go to heaven. Because despite people being atheists, they still think, well, just in case. They still fear God. They still fear heaven. Well, not fear heaven, but they still fear hell. Like they want to go to heaven. Because deep within them, they know that it's a possibility that once we die, we might actually get punished for being bad. And they think that in order to be in favor with God, they have to pretend to be religious, pretend to believe in God, pretend to be close to the church and a vicar. It's like there are my neighbors over there at the side of the house. One of them had a brush with death, and ever since then, she has absolutely 100% cozied up to the reverend. She's always, because obviously my bedroom looks out into their garden, she's always in their garden. I see her at church event, like I don't go to church events, but I've seen her in the church area. I've seen her come in and out of the church, come in and out of the church hall. Like, she's always hanging out with the reverend. She seems to be probably more like the reverend's wife's friend, but I think by proxy, she thinks she's in good with the reverend because, well, I mean, she thinks she's in good with God because she's like cozied up to the family. Like, she seems to be a friend of the family because I always see her there. It's either just her and them, or it's her and her husband and them, and she goes to all of their events and parties that they have in the garden. Now, if she heard me say this, she would probably be pissed off, saying that's not the truth, but I think that's what it is, because she was never friends with any of them. And also, she's the only one. Like, I've not seen any of the other neighbours. In fact, there's a German woman that lives there as well. And when they went over there to their lockdown party, I heard them say something about she's the opposite, and the reverend went, because the reverend was asking her if is she religious, is she Christian, and she said, no, actually I'm the opposite or something. And you know what the reverend said? He said, oh, what, a Satanist? I was like, no, you idiot. That's not the opposite. The opposite is an atheist. Atheists don't believe in Satan. They're not Satanists. They're atheists. And of course, yeah, so of course she's not going to be in good with the reverend because they don't like atheists, do they? So obviously, now I don't know if that woman's religious, the other one, the one who's not, like, I know her name, by the way, but I'm not going to say her name on here, but yeah, I'm just going to call her that woman because I don't want to say her name, because I know that I'll get in trouble. If they're watching this, I'm going to get in trouble for mentioning names and stuff, because I don't know, like I say, I've called people out on here before for doing shitty stuff, and of course I get in trouble for it, which is stupid because I have a right to call people out when they're being shits. But anyway, since they cozied up to the Reverend, they have been nasty to me. The Reverend doesn't like me, and as a result of this, because they're busy mates, she now suddenly doesn't like me. Now, she used to let on and have a chat to me every time she saw me, but ever since they became friends, she doesn't talk to me or let on to me now, which is odd. So, like I say, they're not Christian. Like, the definition of a Christian is a good person that helps their neighbours, who helps their flock, who helps their fellow man. They are not that. They don't do that. They're not Christian. Because do you know how many times me and my mum have told these supposed Christians about the troubles we have been having? Because we did have a chat with them a few times, and they don't give a shit. Like, they would rather think of you as the enemy. This is really bad because they're supposed to look after their flock, and they know we have loads of problems with kids around here. They know that we have lots of problems with the hooligans. They know we have lots of problems with local people, and yet they do nothing to help. Now, a reverend is supposed to help if any of their flock is in need. They're supposed to give comfort and support, and they are cozied up to all the authorities. So, and they live in the house for free, they get all their bills paid for them, they get free holidays, and everybody worships them. And of course, by proxy, the family also get treated well. The wife, the children of the church person, by proxy, also gets respected in the community, and everybody likes them. Like, I'm really surprised that the daughter moved out. Now, I know she moved out to be able to, move in with her fiance. But if that were me, I wouldn't. I'd say, fiance, move in with us. Because that is a big enough house to house 4 people in. And if they have any children, they have cats as well. There's a big enough house and garden to raise children in and stuff like that, and have a big family in there. And they'd only just moved in as well, so it's not even like, it's like, oh, well, we wanted a change. Like, I've been living here for a million years, and now I want to move in. It's like they just moved there. And she would have probably just been loved. Now, she is like me. The daughter is like me. She's alternative. So, you can guarantee that even though she's like me and dresses a bit differently and has her hair all weird and wonderful colours, you can guarantee that she would have been loved in the community by all the young people, all the children, while I get treated like shit for the same thing. The only difference between me and her is that I'm not a reverend's offspring. I'm not a respected member of society's offspring. I am the offspring of a woman who moved into this area, and particularly moved into a vicarage and a bigger house. And me and my mum have just been penalised for it all of these years, including the dogs. The dogs have also meant that we have gotten penalised. Because, like I say, these people around here use anything and everything to penalise you. And I'll take that canister. I suppose I won't cover my eyes with it. I was going to say I'll put my wolf mask on, but of course it's got eye holes, so that's not really going to protect. So yeah, like Dean Sherman said, people are really cruel. And unless you've got like a job where you are respected in the community, you have no chance. Because I don't, like to say, to this day, I have absolutely no fucking clue why they harass me now. Because it used to be my mum, but now it's me that they particularly target. And their only reasoning for why they do it is because I'm weird. That is not a good excuse to harass someone. You have to have a legitimate reason, like they've murdered, they've raped, they're a criminal in some way. Like, you can't just hate someone because they're weird. Because they dress differently. They have their hair different. Which my hair has just been fucking normal. Like, my clothes have just been, like, slightly unusual. It's not like they've been that bad or out there. Like, you can't hate on someone because of how they dress. You can't hate someone because they might be autistic, or... In fact, that is like I say, a hate crime. And that is illegal. Because you're not allowed to hate on LGBT people or minorities or people with mental disabilities or mental health conditions or issues or disabilities. That is criminal. So these people are the criminals. I'm the innocent. The dogs, like I say, if they say that are bloodthirsty, kids are kind of out for blood as well, because if you piss them off in any way, shape or form, like one girl got pissed off because I didn't want to be called by my name and I wanted to be called Dorian instead, and she got really pissed off and she actually said, we're going to come and storm your house, we're going to come and terror your house. She used the word storm and terror. I think you mean terrorize. Do you know what that makes her and her little friends who are gonna terror my house? It makes them terrorists. They are little terrorists. Just like I hate dogs, although he said he wouldn't use the word for some reason, but I don't care about censorship. I'm using these words. I don't care if I get demonetized. I'm going to use these words because I believe in free fucking speech and I don't care about YouTube's policy. Oh, you can't say Hitler, you can't say Nazi, you can't say rape, you can't say murder. I'll say these things because I'm not letting you little bastards take away my free speech, my right. Just like they go on about these fucking kids having rights now. You can't touch them because they're fucking kids. Fuck that, I'm an adult, I have more rights, I'm a grown-up. I was brought up to learn that adults are the ones with rights. Children should be seen and not heard. Children should obey. Children should do as they're told. Children should watch their fucking mouths and watch their actions and do as they're told. Adults can do whatever they like, apart from all that bad stuff I've just mentioned, which I won't mention again because I don't want to push my luck. But unless anyone does a criminal activity, adults can do whatever they want, including dressing like I do, in tails, ears, funky hair colours, funky hairstyles. I have a right to say whatever I want. I have a right to dress however I want. I'm not letting some stupid little trolls, I'm not letting them next door or any of the neighbours or any of these kids put me down. Because I'm doing my God-given right, which is to just live and let live, for fuck's sake. I'm just living how I want to live, which isn't even anything that crazy or out there or different. The only thing about the way I live that is crazy and out there is the fact that I've been abused all these years. Used, abused, victimized by my own parents, by the locals, by the local kids, and now, according to my friend, people online. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do because it's my right as a fucking adult. I'm not letting YouTube tell me what I can and cannot say either. And I think it's really stupid that people are adhering to it. I think people should just say fuck you and just do it anyway. Even the word fuck you're allowed to say. You can be monetized if you say that, but you can't say all them other words, which are just normal words. They're not even curse words. But anyway, the kids, like I say, are the terrorists, just like these dog-hating channels say that dogs are. They are. And they've been coming here, they've smashed 2 windows now, they've smashed up the car even more than it was before. And they smashed a pot dog and they smashed a pot snail. And this is unacceptable behaviour. Yet people have the gall to say I'm the bad one. Just because I dress a certain way. So apparently me dressing a certain way is worse than someone and coming smashing a window. Or calling someone really horrible names. And harassing them in their own house. That is criminal. Me dressing a certain way isn't a criminal activity. Me being weird or a bit crazy isn't either. Unless I go around killing people, which sometimes I feel like doing, but I would never do. Sometimes I wish I was a dog, because if I was a dog, then I could get away with that kind of behaviour. Because of all these like protection things now, you're not allowed to put a dog down. So even if they're aggressive and bite someone, they just say, oh, they're a dog, and it's just their instinct to do that or something. Because they make all excuses. So dogs can just get away with anything and everything. Maybe that's why I have an affinity with dogs, because dogs can get away with bad behavior, and people don't really do much about it. Same with kids. So I'm not gonna lie, I wish I was a kid again, because when I was a kid, I didn't know all these rights. I didn't know that kids can do whatever they want and there's no consequences. I wish I was a kid. I wish I was a kid in this era, or a dog, because, like I say, both are protected, and both are little demons, and both are terrorists. I don't care what anybody says. Anybody who thinks that kids are innocent are absolutely delusional. Kids are not. I wasn't. I mean, when I was a kid, I never even thought about going onto someone's property and smashing up their property. I had no desire to do so. I was too busy playing with toys. I had no interest in doing what these fucking kids do. I had no interest in harassing someone, calling someone names for no reason, threatening them, using threatening body language or behaviour, coming and smashing someone's property. I had no desire to do that. I was the one child. Well, it wasn't just me, it was like back in my era when I was growing up. I mean, like I say, we only just started getting harassed by kids when I was about 11, 12, and it was younger kids, so they were being brought up in the new age. So the kids that were actually born and brought up when I was brought up, and born and brought up before then, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and before that, we were just well behaved, and we just didn't have this mentality to go and harass people and just smash up people's properties, because we weren't evil little demons like they are now. It must be something in the water, it must be something in the food, it must be, I don't know, like an influx of shitty parents, but I don't know, they just all seem to have like this absolutely evil mentality, this evil mindset, and they just want to harass people and ruin their lives, or at least attempt to ruin their lives. And I really wish I was in a position of authority, because I would put the world straight, and I'd say you have to discipline your kids, and I'd say you have to keep your kids in until they're at least 16. And even then, they're like the worst when they're 16, because that's when they become teenagers, and they're even shittier and nastier. So no. So I would quite happily make a channel called I Hate Kids, and I would show all the footage of examples of why kids are horrible little shits. And then you got like people saying, oh, you shouldn't record, they're just kids, and I'm like, fuck you, they're on my property. And even if I'm out on the street and they're giving me shit, I'm going to record. I won't record kids for no reason. I wouldn't just say, oh, these kids there, let's record them. I only record them when they give me shit. They deserve to be recorded when they give people shit, when they're actually doing criminal activity, harassing, verbally abusing, smashing up property, calling names, threatening. They deserve it. They're not innocent. They're not little angels like everyone seems to think they are for some unknown reason. They're little bastards. And I have so much footage to prove why kids are like as bad, if not worse, than dogs. Like, I understand why dogs target them. Like I say, I would if I was a dog. I would specifically target dogs. I would specifically target kids if I was a dog, because adults are like way nicer. Like, I've had not many like bad experiences with adults, but all my bad experiences have been with usually kids of about 11 to 18, and I've even had shit from like 20 odd year olds too that acted really immature. So I've had nothing but shit from young people in general. Whereas people like maybe 25 plus, especially like 30-odd-year-olds and old people, especially old women, they were so nice and friendly and accepting and just tolerant. So if I was a dog, I would only go for young people because they're just absolute little terrors, little demons. And I would, I suppose, as a bloodthirsty dog, I would just like recognize this evil, demonic behavior and personality in these little shitty fuckheads. Little shitty fuckheads. And I think children should be banned. I think children should be kept indoors until they are old enough. And while they're being kept indoors, they're schooled to treat people with respect, especially vulnerable people, especially people who are different, people who have mental illnesses, people who are minorities, people who are alternative dressers. That's what I believe. I'm not sure I like these ears as much, but they go with my outfit a bit. The rest of it, I'm all matching. So, I think I've got everything. So, I did get in that mindset for a while. When they were harassing us, I got into the mindset of a dog. Like this aggressive behavior. Because I was trying to protect the property, so in my mind I was trying to display this aggressive, like scary behavior, body language. When I was a kid, I used to, if I saw them trying to climb all over the wall and come in, I would like growl and bark at them. When I was a kid, like I say, I don't do that now, but because like I say, they just think that just encourages them to do it more because they think it's hilarious. They think it's really funny because they're little terrors. So like I say, I 100% understand, because right, there was this video that I watched a while ago. It was a Cesar Millan video, and it was where this couple, this family adopted a dog, a little dog. It was a Jack Russell, and the kid kicked the dog. And when the kid kicked the dog went for the kid and started biting it. And this man that we saw a week ago in Ashton, and he had this little Yorkshire Terrier. I have it on stream actually. And the man said that his dog went to bite someone because they poked her in the eye. And I said, well, I don't blame her for going to bite someone who's poked her in the eye because they did something first to her, so I don't really blame her. And a lot of dog owners say that their dogs don't like kids. And it's because kids do have a tendency to be rough. And it's not because they see the kids as targets or vulnerable people. It's because they know that kids are liable to be little terrors. And kids are the ones most likely to attack a dog first, or be rough with them, or bash them, or kick them, or whatever, like any cruel behavior kids are more likely to do. And dogs have either had experience with children like that, or they just know that they are like that because children are rough, they are cruel, they're naturally cruel. They're naturally cruel to animals because to a kid, an animal is vulnerable, an animal is a target, especially little dogs and stuff. They pull dogs and cats' tails. They grab them. They're rough with them. And the animals go, enough is enough. We're going to attack first. Anyway, that's it for now. So, but like I say, the points I do agree with that I hate dogs is that dogs do bark for no reason or any reason, and they can be annoying sometimes. They do have to have a lot of training to be able to be functioning in human society. And they do launch unprovoked attacks a lot of the time. However, the thing I will disagree with though is that it must be horrible. It must be horrendous in America, dog attacks, because I've not heard of any dog attacks here. I've not witnessed any. All the dogs that I've come across have all been usually docile and calm, but they do bark a lot. And I have heard pretty aggressive barking when I've been in bed, and I can hear them outside, and I hear what sounds like dogs fighting. So I think most of the dogs around here are more dog aggressive. My dog was also dog aggressive. So it's very rare that dogs attack children or people I don't know whether it's England as a whole or just in this area. But most of the dogs are quite well behaved. They're just dog aggressive mainly. And the most they do is bark. Okay, that's all for now. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if you want me to make an I hate kids or I hate dogs videos or channel. And yeah, don't forget to become a Patreon and donate to my moving out fund so I can get out of my toxic environment. I'm thinking of making a channel that documents my experience being my mum's carer and being kind of domestically abused and my toxic situation, so that people who are also in my situation don't feel alone. But I'm pretty much, my situation is so unusual that I'm not just being like treated like shit at home, I'm also being treated like shit out there by local people, neighbors, local kids. Like I'm literally just being abused by a multitude of people, not just one person. Like most people in domestic abuse situations have just one person that they're being abused by, a partner or a parent or parents, whereas I'm actually being abused by everyone around me. There was a book about a boy who was also treated that way. He was abused at home, he was abused by schoolmates, and he was abused by teachers as well. And he actually did turn to religion when he was older, and that did give him peace. So maybe I should rethink my goal of being an actor or filmmaker and just become a reverend or something, because they do get respected in society and they do get looked upon as a virtual god, a leader. They just get treated like kings. Like, I don't know, they do get treated really well. And like I say, these kids would never harass a vicar because they think that they will go to hell if they did that. And to be honest with you, they're gonna go to hell anyway for treating me this way. Because my mum, I didn't say this, but my mum's a reverend. But she's retired. It's a retired reverend. Where the frick? Oh, there it is. I'm looking for this spatula. Because as far as I know, nobody else in this area gets treated like we do. So that is Irish music. That's the most heavenly music of all. So I'm going to practice by being more, there it is, religious. So I've got this. My mum bought me two things. I've got a cross that's like well, it isn't really an accessory. I don't know what you do with it. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I use it as an accessory, so I pin it to myself. I guess you can make it into a necklace. I've also got this. So it's the Holy Mary on here. It's very cute. My mum's got one as well. And it's a rosary. Now these are usually associated with Catholics rather than Christians, but we are a Christian community. But I've never been baptized or christened, so I think that I could revert to whatever religion I wanted to, so I could be a Catholic if I wanted to. Because Catholic, isn't that predominantly Irish? And I know that there are Liverpudlians who are Catholic and probably other British people. Maybe it depends on the area you come from. This is a Protestant area. Church of England, I think. So this is probably the wrong religion, but I mean, I can still pray on them. I've also got a Buddha. I've got Tara the female Buddha, and we've got loads of them, but this one's my personal one. My mum's got loads of them, and I've got this one. I have where's my duster? Oh, I don't know. It's under here somewhere. I did consider becoming Buddhist. I'm not really sure. Like what religion to be. I've considered creating my own religion as well. That'd be cool. The furry religion. And the figures you prayed to is the supreme ruler of the universe, and Jeremiah, who is the sun god. Sun god, Lord Jeremiah. I've started writing a Bible, actually. Anyway, I think I'm going to go now because it's become a very long video. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to go for real now.